Anywhere they go, we know them for that. The whole world. What are we noted for? You see, in Ghana, when you come, there are too many Nyansafo. There are too many sensible people. There are too many people who knows what we are doing. There are too many people. I know what I'm doing. I know what I do. When you come, the people in the front line don't know what to do, and they are preventing the people from the back who knows what to do to come and stand on the front line. So people like Kojo Antwi, who is a senior man, legendary figure as such, would come and make these comments because to him, no feel say much is not being pumped into it. Which of course everybody will say, when the Black Stars are going, we do this. The Black Stars, they go as a team. They don't go as individuals. They go as a team. So when we are going, we know that the team, transportation will cost this, hotel will cost this, food will cost this, every winning bonus costs this. We move as a team. Do we musicians, is that what we do? Everybody comes with his individual plans. Everybody comes with individual plans. We are scattered. We don't know what we are selling. When you go to any government official, these are questions they ask. And when they ask, what do we tell them? Because the BIA say, how do you kind of simple? God for us, or everyone for himself, God for us.
For us all.
That is the attitude that we have always had. You see, the Nigerians today, Davido, your friend is saying, Chris Brown, Afrobeat, Wizkid, Afrobeat, Obia is like a deliberate agenda. It's a deliberate agenda. They know what they are doing. And you know what they are doing? They are commanding the numbers in the world. They are influencing the West to even do Afrobeat. What are we influencing them to do? They have already influenced us doing hip-hop. They have influenced us doing dancehall. They have influenced us doing reggaeton. What are we influencing them to do? That will be the beginning of our industry's revolution. We need to find a path to chart. And when we find a path to chart, then we can know where we are going. Other than that, everybody comes, influence us, he goes. Do we want to sit back and become featuring artists? That every day Beyonce is looking for somebody to feature, if she features him. Tupac comes from the dead, looking somebody, he features him. Why are we also not charting a path of trying to influence the world with our music by featuring them, to let them know of the genre we do, to let them know of what Ghana is noted for, to let them know that, okay, when you go to Ghana or when you want to listen to Ghanaian music, this is how it goes. That is the beginning of the revolution. And when people start waking up and realizing that factor, that truth, that will be the beginning. For the Shatta and Guilty Beat, it's an unparalleled achievement. Like they've achieved, is great for our industry.
So once again, when you said we are not together to champion that cause, I was asking that, they have given us a union that has been accepted by government, that is Musica. So this work that Kojo Antwi wants them to do, can't Musica do that? Two of our own, they've done this. They want them to meet the Minister of Arts and Culture, they want them to meet the minister here and there. Can't they do that?
You see, Sammy? In every situation, whenever the base or the foundation is weak, the roof struggles. And the basics is what I've given you. Because we've jumped from 1 to 5. So when we get to 5, we don't know what we are doing. For now, everybody will think, okay, Shatta has in a collaboration with Beyonce, Afrobeat, Guilty Beat has written song whatsoever. What's the next move? How do we go about it? What's the next move? Now, we must do well to get other people also featuring other artists. That will be the mindset too. Charlie, now make we push, so say big artists go come feature we. That be. We don't have to be only featuring artists. We don't have to be. Ghana, south of the Sahara, became the first country to gain independence. But 60 years after, where are we? Because of things like this, we can't sit down and run a deliberate attempt to achieve something, and that is why we are struggling. So, because look, the talents we have in this country, the music we make in this country, people hear us and they are amazed. When Reggie and Boli met, when Reggie and Boli met, the iconic American artist. I've forgotten.
When
they
Quincy Jones.
No, not Quincy Jones. When they met him, the man was playing a keyboard. And immediately he started playing the keyboard, Reggie started like doing raga. The man paused. He was like, who was that? So it's me. I said, really? You can do this off here just like that? Even notable artists, they struggle to hear keys in this. And the register, he told him that, look, where we come from, the competition is so tense. You can't just be there and not being able to do this. You understand? So we have crazy, amazing talents here that if we can chart a deliberate attempt to push an agenda, somebody will get there. Imagine government is fueling a deliberate agenda on a particular genre so that it becomes a competition. Now, this is what is the agenda for the world. Every Ghanaian, because it's a deliberate attempt, every Ghanaian wants to go there because maybe it comes with maybe some money, it comes with maybe some award, it comes with maybe a certain recognition. When you do so, when people outside the country hears it, that is when they tap into it. Then people start doing what you are doing, just like we are trying to do what other people are doing.
Now, Hafko, it's unfortunate that already you've said more, because I wanted to ask that if you are saying government is not having any deliberate agenda to do something for us, then I'm asking you guys have been part of the Creative Arts for Change or however we call it. What are you guys also doing? Because they know that they have put you guys in a special position that you can be trumpeting some of the things happening to them for them to either make a decision for us. But what are you guys also doing?
I mean, I've said, that's what I said. I said the people on the front line, they don't know what to do.
So sack them. You guys, you have Creative Arts for Change. You have leaders. Who are your leaders?
I'm saying that.
Listen, who are your leaders? Oh no, who are the leaders of Creative Arts for Change?
Creative Arts for Change. Kwesi Ajiman is there. Ukreku is there. Socrates is there. All these guys.
Yes, we need to chastise you people. But in fact, I was expecting to have even condemned you people first before coming to all these things. No, because you guys have the Creative Arts for Change. You are very close to the powers.
You see the meetings take per diem. No, Sammy.
You guys are very close to powers. You are not doing anything and you are blaming who?
No, the point is that you see, this attitude has been there for years. And so
but now we have the people who know.
And so when people come, they come to follow the same pattern. You understand? So that one, me, until I make us say, me sitting here, I might not be able to change because now can us only on far. What will you do? Because when people assume position and office, they have their own mentality. They have what they want to
them.
Do. Who
if you think Okreku Mante, Socrates, Safo and Co, they are not pushing the agenda of people in showbiz or creative arts in Ghana. Meanwhile, they speak to the powers. What are you guys waiting for?
You see, maybe you are missing the point.
Are you happy being a Creative Arts for Change person?
Well, not entirely. Not entirely.
So why are you not registering your unhappiness to them?
No, Sammy, the point is that, like I'm saying, you're speaking as if that you can easily influence or control people.
No, it will start with just one person. For all you know, listen. For all you know, you are not the only person who is not happy among the group.
Sammy.
So if you voice out that the way you guys are doing as Creative Arts for Change people, you guys were placed in this special position so that you can talk about the interest of creative arts people. Sammy, but you are not doing it well.
Sammy, you see,
Creative Arts for Change. The point, Hafko is a high life artist. Hafko wants high life to be chosen as the thing to sell. Yet Hafko is scared to speak.
Sammy, do you know what?
Hafko,
even the high life. No, hold on. Even the high life thing. Do you know people who disagree with me? Do you know people who believe that? Do you know so people? Do you know people who believe that what they know is the best? You live in Ghana. You know that in our industry, some people have a certain mindset that I have been here for long, and therefore what I know, how so that's why I'm saying that it will take time because people have a certain mindset that deliberate attempt, they haven't even sat down and thought about it. Say this is the chart we have to pass. Look, when we're doing VGMA and we spoke about high life, they still came to defend it. People who knew better than us came out to defend it. How do you change that?
Okay, thank you so much. His name is Dada Havko, and he thinks that yes, as much as Kojo Antwi might have a point in the statement that our industry is limping, he also has an opinion that we need to start right. We need to start right. We need to get a music identity. With that, we can now push. Shatawale and Guilty Beat, we can push them. Even when we push them, it will be based on individual preference. It will not be the whole industry benefiting from it. Anyway, the discussion continues. Strong points by Dada Havko, and I also wish that you can also tell me what you think. Let's do that on Twitter at Xylophone1021FM. Give me a mention at Sammy Flex, and remember the hashtag Showbiz Agenda, already trending at number 2 in Ghana. Bramo and Havko now person be real cry. I say no one ba.
Oh, David, man.
I said one but too much.
Quite interesting listening to Dada Havko. You put everything together. All he wants to, or the understanding I draw from it is that high life is what belongs to us. Let's put money there. Reggae dance or whatever Shatta used to get to where he is with Guilty Beat is not us. So let's not mind them. And it's quite sad. It's quite sad for you to speak in a way I'll draw that conclusion from it.
Yeah.
You know, the high life is what we have to sell. What do we have to sell to the world? It is high life. So if Shatta were to be a high life artist, all of a sudden we'll find a union. All of a sudden we'll find money. All of a sudden we'll push him. And all of a sudden the whole industry will benefit from it. But because he's not a high life artist, all of a sudden he's not important. All of a sudden, even though he's gotten to the climax, let's ignore him because we won't benefit from it. And that's quite interesting, like I said from the beginning.
Oh, you wanted to say
first
lame?
Of all, it could be lame as well.
Oh, okay.
First of all, Shatawale, Guilty Beat, they are Ghanaians. They sing reggae dance or whatever it is. Shatta sings in a local dialect as well. Now, if you want to get to a certain point with high life, who doesn't know Ghana represents high life? Unless the person was born today. Whoever has followed music globally and has had an eye for Ghanaian music, you will know to a large extent that Ghana, high life. In fact, those that have made name for us before our generation did so with high life. And whoever has followed music over the years will definitely know something about Osibisa, Kiki Jan, and Co. And these people represented high life. So it's not something that is so new that it is now we will plan how to sell high life.
But what if someone agrees that they were also doing more Afrobeats than high life?
Whatever thing they were doing, they represented Ghana.
Well,
they represented Ghana, which is why I feel that even if Shatawale was singing a dirge, and that dirge has gotten him a feature with one of the world's greatest of our time, come on, who do we support? If you want to sell high life to the world, and for some funny reason, those doing the high life, including Dada Havko himself, have not gotten to the point where one of the world's greatest looks your way to have something to do with you, and you say because it is not high life, attention should it be paid to him?
On it?
No. What better way to sell our music than to focus on these guys who have gotten there with whatever it is they're doing?
They paved the way.
They paved the way. They paved the way. Invest in them. Get them to be well known. Get them to have all the collaborations they can. When they are there and they are solidified. Now, if Shatta endorses any artist, that artist will be respected because they've accepted Shatta, because they've accepted Guilty Beat. If Guilty Beat tells them, look, I am in your markets now. I know what our people are capable of. Now look, pay attention to this beat producer. He's the next thing from Ghana. They will pay attention to him because they know what you're worth, how far you've come, how solidified you've become in their industry, and then whatever you say, they would pay some attention to it. Why do we deal with perception? Why do we deal with, endorsements? If Beyonce has endorsed Shatta, how many features haven't we heard, folks running after him to do? Yesterday, there was another one. Is it Budweiser or something?
Yeah, the Budweiser thing.
Look, how did that happen?
Out of the Beyonce collaboration.
So what are you telling me?
He's getting known or recognized internationally.
So if the nation has anything to offer, if the nation has any serious mind for the music industry, and we have somebody who is already at the touchline, and you're telling me because he doesn't belong to a certain genre, he should be left. Is he not a Ghanaian? Doesn't he do Ghana music? Doesn't he use our local dialect in his songs? Doesn't he tell stories that we relate to as locals? What is wrong with that? So let's wait until maybe someday that Afko gets a feature with Beyonce or Jay-Z. Then we can start paying attention to that. Then we can start investing in that.
Because that is for us.
But that should be lame way of thinking. Quite unfortunate. Yes. Yes. If we are waiting to get to a certain point and we have one of our folks or two of our folks already there, and we say, let's leave them and still wait for somebody to get there before we support. What if that chance never comes? What if that chance never comes? You see, it's not about what to sell. Sometimes it's about how to sell it.
The marketing.
Yes. It's not about what you sell. Once he's been able to get into the market, this is a guy who is in the Ghana music industry, who has other genres in the industry. I mean, we like playing one top. I think it is the same reason for which that was sounding that way, because it is high life. Everything has to be about high life. Meanwhile, these are Ghanaians doing hip life. These are Ghanaians doing reggae dancehall. These are Ghanaians doing other forms of music. And they are all Ghanaians in the same music industry. And yet you want the attention should be left and focused on just one, when others can also break through. Pato Rankin, when he was taking over the world, did he do that with solely Afrobeat? He's a reggae dancehall artist as well. But Nigerians pay attention to him because he's, raising the flag of Nigeria. Bottom line. Whether he does it with the dirge, he does it with gospel, he does it with hip life or whatever it is the flag he's raising. Bottom line. If Shatta has gotten there, broken into the American market with no mean a person than Beyonce, and you say because he doesn't sing a certain genre of music, he shouldn't be, that side of it shouldn't be protected or helped or money injected into it. If Shatta solidifies, he can drag a high life artist along. He could do a feature with.
But in our music award scheme, they are saying Shatta Wale is doing high life music. He has been awarded with the high life song category before. So if he goes there, I'm sure we are still going to have that benefit as well.
You see, that's just an added point. So let's give them the support. I mean, let's look beyond the fixated mindset we have on one thing, like Wayne Yedeko no Bibia Fanwa and Kaho. No, bottom line, he's been there, he's done it, and there's nothing wrong with big acts featuring our people. When you say let's not reduce ourselves to featured artists, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being featured. There's nothing wrong. It starts from somewhere. From Beyonce featuring him, he could solidify and also get to feature someone. We were here when Sarkodie featured Ace Hood. I mean, isn't that an achievement?
It is.
Can't Shatta do same? We've been here. Stonebwoy is featuring.
We are still waiting for the statute as well.
Stonebwoy is featuring top stars left, right, center. He is getting featured left, right, center. What is wrong with that? So when they feature us, it is wrong. But when we feature them, we should see it big. Then in their town, they'll also see it not big. I mean, either ways, something has been done. Either ways, something is being sold to the people. Shatta is a Ghanaian. When they ask, reggae dancehall artist, where is it from? Ghana. Ghanaian music industry is getting known. So let's support them. Let's support them. Guilty Beat, Shatta Wale, Dada Afko, whoever it is, whoever gets there. Let's put our support behind them because that's where we want to go.
I see. Now, you came responding to that, of course, submission that you did not touch on the real issues Kojo Antwi raised. Kojo Antwi said, first, our industry is limping. And again, he said that where we are supposed to get support from, we are not getting it. I'm sure because of Hafko's points, you were really doing stuff on Hafko.
Statistics. The numbers are not clear. And these people, because they would want to write a report and blah blah blah, we're giving 2 million Ghana cedis, we gave it to the music industry and blah 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 came out of it. When Obo was given, was it 2 million Ghana cedis? Yeah. Up until now, there's still a fight over that money. Statistics. How much was injected into the industry? But to Obo,
he's closed that account and that discussion.
Of course.
He's presented his everything.
By the people.
Yeah.
How much was invested into it? How many people did he affect? What did we get from it? What are the numbers? How much does the creative arts industry, especially the music sector, how much do we make out of it in a year? How much do we get from the music industry in 6 months? So that if we are getting 6,000 Ghana cedis, we know if we invest 20,000 Ghana, we could get 12,000 Ghana cedis. The numbers, do we have them? The reports? We don't. And the institutions that are supposed to put these things together and make it work, they've become more like a toothless bulldog or to an extent dysfunctional. And they would also blame it on government for not having the logistics and what to work with. it's a big issue. If you go to the government right now, we need so and so for what? They'll ask you, okay, what for? What are the numbers? What are we getting in return? Difficult, very, very, very difficult. And until we start putting things on paper and getting things streamlined, well, yes, we'll be doing the individualism. But out of the individualism, if we see certain people who have gotten away with it, let's support them.
All right, thank you so much, Arnold Mason Levanyo. He is the man in charge of a social media celebrity talk show. It is called Vibes in 5, and again, he's the host of Link Up Reloaded here on Xylophone FM every Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m. Nanaya, good morning to you. Arnold, Nanaya, so wanwa bapa.
Big up yourself, Nanaya.
Yes, boss. No, I'll come to you, Hafko, but Chief Charles is wrapping up for me. You want to come and defend, huh?
But it wasn't fair.
No, wait. We will come back to you. Chief, it's your time now.
The industry is limping.
According to Kojo Antwi. This is a serious headline.
Yeah, the industry is limping. It has been so for a very long time. Sammy, it's amazing how, as a nation, we have even attempted to contort history by rewriting or rebasing, to use the financial term, of the significant landmarks of our history. For instance, yesterday was a holiday, 4th August, because someone 4th, which was a Sunday, and then it had to be on because someone decided that it shouldn't be Founders Day, but Founders Day.
Sammy,
the industry is limping, and it is so because one man who understood the creative arts, Kwame Nkrumah, attempted to have an industry for us. But all that was overthrown at his overthrow. Kwame Nkrumah attempted to have a GBC, which was supposed to be an African-wide broadcasting network that was supposed to broadcast our own story from our perspective, like SABC, like BBC, like Voice of America, which were broadcasting institutions that were supposed to sell the country. So of all that BBC does, the primary role of BBC is to be a mouthpiece of the British colony. Kwame Nkrumah understood the arts. They had even comedians like Ajaz Bukana, who was sponsored by the state to go and learn the act of comedy. So many things he did, and that's why he had GBC, he had the National Archives Center, they had so many things they did. And since his overthrow, to project
what we do
as a people,
arts in Ghana,
as a people. At his overthrow, all this was overthrown. Many of the things he did were demonized. At some point, if you belong to any part of the creative arts, people say, "Oh, your concert, that is why up till now, when someone says I'm a musician or a singer, the next question you ask the person is, "What else do you do?" Because we think that this should be a hobby. As I say, "Oh yeah, doctor, now lawyer, being I say, oh yeah, and they say a hobby." So you ask the person, "So what else do you do?" So when Kojo Antwi says our industry is limping, I do agree to a very large extent with him that yes, it is limping, it has been limping for a very long time. At some point, we attempted to set the record straight, or we attempted to bring some sanity to the chaos by setting up Musiga, COSGA, Copyright Office, and so on and so forth. Question though is that have they played their purpose? Have they lived up to expectation? Has Musiga lived up to its expectation? Aside it becoming an institution where, because it is recognized nationally and perhaps globally, musicians will go there for letters of credence if they want to travel. COSGA, is it paying?
You mean Gamro?
Sorry, Gamro. Mm-hmm. Is Gamro paying the rights royalties to musicians? Is copyright adjudicating issues fairly, or do people even go there with their issues? So these are questions that must be asked. And if, in your opinion, in your estimation, as an industry person, you think they are doing well, then we all have to reevaluate. So the industry is limping. Yes, to a large extent, I think it is. Now, in spite of the chaotic situation, two of our own have been able to rise to world acclaim on the shoulders of Beyonce. The question is, Shatta Wale, for instance, what genre of music did he take to the table, or did he bring to the table, or did he bring to Beyonce's table? Obviously not high life. The beats that Guilty Beats played for Beyonce, are they high life? Obviously not. Semblance of Afrobeat. I agreed with that, I have quoted to some extent, but I depart at some point, because nothing sells without an identity. In the marketplace, if you don't have an identity, you don't exist. And that's why someone will go to the market and buy aqua water or something, and then another will go and buy Voltic, because of the brand differentiation. If you went to the shop and there is a bottle of water without any brand, you are likely not to buy it. You would either buy Voltic or some other brand. So the brand identity as a country is of extreme importance. It is of extreme importance. Now, one of the main advantages you stand to gain if you have a brand, and a brand like High Life, is that now the collective cluster of people who belong to that genre have an added advantage, because their genre is categorized. And so if they Google High Life, they find Leda Hafko, they find Kwame Zagi, they find Kumi Guitar, and everybody else who is doing High Life. So the people who belong to that genre have a collective advantage in rising together. But in going forward, I think because of cosmopolitanism, Afrobeat seems to have taken the lead. Indeed, it has.
Of course.
So are we going to say because Afrobeat has taken the lead, we're not going to go there, or we're going to make extra effort in selling our High Life? Even though it is worth the effort, if we make an extra effort in selling our High Life, the structures that are supposed to actually champion this agenda either do not exist or are dysfunctional. So how are you able to project this agenda? Arnold, aptly pointed to the fact that some amount of money was given to the Musicians Union, Obo, to champion a certain cause. We know that about 95% of that money went into research, as he claims. Research and whatever. To what?
Data.
To what extent that will help, we're here to feel its impact. But I believe a chunk of this money was supposed to have gone into a certain a creation of a brand identity for us as Ghanaians, which would have been High Life. So we missed out on a huge opportunity to have placed our music on a certain pedestal to be recognized by the world. The Nigerians have done so by projecting Afrobeat, and Afrobeat seemed to cut across the West African sub-region. So what then happens, I think, with Shatta Wale and Guilty Beats is that what the world recognized from Africa, and not just the individual countries in Africa like Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Guinea, and so on and so forth, is what they have called for. So now there seems to be a uniformity of a genre which is emanating from West Africa, which is the Afrobeat. And it will not be wrong for anybody to ride on it, because look, at the end of the day, it's a profit and loss game. So you gravitate towards where you make the most profits from your investments. And in this case, if it is Afrobeat, you can't force anybody not to do it. Last week or so, when Denta was here, outside the microphone, me and you were having a discussion that, look, it is her interest to project the African sub-region because the Nigerians may pay more than the Ghanaians do. And that's why she may not focus so much on the Ghanaian agenda. So at the end of the day, those who are pushing the business end are looking at profitability. They are looking at their profit and loss sheets. What makes us more money? And in this case, it may seem to be Afrobeat. Let's support Shatta. Let's support Guilty Beat, even though they may not be playing the desired genre that we wish. But in doing so, like Arnold said, in doing so, there's a possibility that
another aspect of the industry will benefit.
High life could come along. But I also disagree with Arnold when he says that they are Ghanaians and Ghanaians. We're not selling, there's no genre called Ghana. Even though they come from Ghana. There's a genre called dancehall or reggae or high life or Afrobeat.
But at the end of the day, the people who are doing it are Ghanaians. I'm sure that's what he meant.
Absolutely. Nobody's disputing it. And I don't think that I have disputed it. But for me, on what Kojo Antwi said, yes, let's support them. But the question is, what do we do with where they have gotten to? What do we do? We can only encourage them that as you climb, as you attract the world's attention, as the world's eye is on you, also attempt to project yours, because the danger then is that you could be lost in the sea of the world. So we can only encourage Guilty Beat that when you are playing your beats, add some element of Yam Ponsan guitar, so that becomes a differentiating point, or that becomes a divergent point from the Afrobeat they could be playing from Nigeria. If you add your Yam Ponsan, your Afrobeats could be different from what Nigeria or Sierra Leone or Guinea-Bissau is playing. If Shatta Wale, for me, even his recent Melissa, it's more high life than dance hall. It's more watching it, it's more high life, than anything else. For me, it's just the naming. So I think that as they climb, the encouragement is that do something indigenous so that you are able to sell where you come from more than where we come from.
All right, thank you so much, Chief Charles, Arnold Mason, Levanyo, and Hafko. You said you needed some 1 minute. My time is up, though.
It was unfortunate the tangent Arnold took the whole thing.
He's saying that is the inference he made.
No. When I started, I said that let's make it a deliberate attempt and decide what we want to sell. If it is high life, if it is Afrobeat, if it is hip hop or dancehall. The key word,
until then,
no, the key word is deliberate attempt. We need to categorize and find an identity of what we want it to belong to us as Ghanaians. That is the main point, and that's rightly what Chief Charles said. Let's find what we want to do, what we want to sell to them. Don't let just wake up and start rant without laying foundations. It doesn't work like that. You can't jump from step 1 to step 5. You always need to go, you need to crawl, stand, and walk. They don't bone you on the bed and then you start running. It doesn't work like that. It will never work. So we need to find what we want to sell. Forget about me being a high life artist. If the government wants to push a deliberate attempt of pushing dancehall, let's do it. So that it becomes competitive. All of us stop what we are doing and then we join. Then that becomes the face of Ghana music out there. And once we do that, we will find a space. Salif Keita mo. They have collaborated with so many big artists, but you know what they collaborate on? They collaborate on the francophone thing they do. They don't move. They don't move away. Pepe Kelly, Salif Keita, and Yosundo and all these guys. Even Angelique Kidjo. When she did Agoro, when she did Wombolombo and all this, she stood to the Beninois path she had charted from day one. And that is the reason why we recognize her today. Imagine she lives in America and she started jumping up to hip hop. No, just imagine. You understand? So today, every day I say something. Udi wache wo arumu enya wo de. Ana na ya wonje ayi.
Feelings be
udi oya wo fufuo na ye de ayi ye friend say da bi fufuo ayawo ene ba ko nya ye ka no.
I powder one.
Need fufu ba. De na ya ope.
Oh, ope pimpim.
Obi o cry e man for Sendra ni di ene mu tintim. Let's take me say China for Sammy. Chinese with the level of technology baby they can make a spoon that will go and tear food and come and put it in their mouths, but they still eat with sticks. You think they can do spoon electrical train but why? Because they don't want to move away from where they start. I don't think and the civilization so called Arabian world Sharia law near the American it still exists. Why? I know civilization, but no move away from there. This is the minimum for Ghanaians.
But Sammy, Ghanaians are still doing high life, and they has anything changed?
They are. Unfortunately, they are not getting the Grammy nomination.
Yes, they are still doing high life. They are
and they are not getting the BET
Chinese for no still no. They produce spoons and they bring it here. Why are they bringing the sticks here? So that argument of nobody has forgotten anything. Then you have forgotten yourself.
You see?
Because you are still doing high life. Yet you are painting it as if high life has been chosen.